Okay. Hi, I'm Brittany. This is Jamie. I'm so excited to be here with you today to share a little bit about basic hands-on assist. So there's lots and lots of different ways to assist your yoga students, and this would be a very beginning introduction to that process. First question, do you enjoy receiving hands-on assist?
I love hands-on assist.
Why do you love hands-on assist?
Hands-on assists are a way for me to be aware of what's happening in a pose in my body. It allows for more possibility in a pose where I'm not quite sure I could go. And then my instructor comes around and says, look what else you can do, because she sees possibility in my pose. And so it's just awareness of posture and what's possible.
Yeah. And then also aware that there are plenty of people in the world that do not love hands-on assist, whether it's from trauma or an injury. There's lots of reasons why they may not want to be assisted with physical touch. You can always assist those kinds of people with giving them a block or a strap or some way to empower them and feel seen and connected to without actually having to touch them. And then what are other reasons why people might not like hands-on assist?
They just don't want to be touched in that moment.
Yeah.
Maybe they're having a day and they're just like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, totally. And even maybe an injury happening. So super important before you ever touch a student, even if you know them really well, it's always important to check in. So if it's a public class at a studio, likely as they're coming in that day, you can let them know if you're going to be doing hands-on assist and if they would like that. Some studios have cards that say yes to assist, no to assist, or if you can make up some other way, because a lot of times people don't necessarily want to tell you no, because they might have issues with telling people no. So giving them a way that they can let you know, and that they can change their mind even partway through a class. Like at the beginning, yes, I did, or at the beginning, no, I didn't, and I changed my mind halfway through. So giving them that possibility as well.
A great example of asking them to do hands-on assists is putting your person in child's pose, so that nobody else in the room can see what their answer is, and asking them to raise a hand if they're okay with with hands-on assist.
Mm-hmm. I like the raise your hand if you are okay. Mm-hmm. Because then they're not having to say no. They can just keep their hand down.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that as an option. Let's shift into some of the best and worst hands-on assists you've ever had. Take a moment to think about what really worked for you in a pose with a teacher and what went terribly wrong. Can you think of anything?
Wow. I can't think of any specific hands-on assist. I have maybe some uncomfortable hands-on assist of being in ear pressure pose, and the teacher was pressing on my knees or on my feet, and then just looking up at them and feeling that uncomfortable space of I'm staring at their face when I'm in a vulnerable position. Something like that. But I personally have never experienced an inappropriate or super uncomfortable hands-on assist. What about you?
I recently was assisted by a man in Warrior 2, and I was in Warrior 2, and then he came up behind me and pulled both my legs back, and his crotch was against my butt, and that definitely did not feel comfortable to me. I have heard a story from a friend who her very first yoga class, she was in Happy Baby, and it was a male teacher also, came and put his knees on her thighs in Happy Baby. And then she didn't go back to another yoga class for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So that does bring up, often it tends to be the men who are like, I don't want to touch women. I don't want, that feels scary and dangerous. And even women not necessarily wanting to touch people. And it just really depends on the day, and it depends on the energy that you're bringing to the assist. And that's where the assists that we're going to give you today are real basic, just hands. Yeah, just hands to parts of the body in a way that is completely fine. There would be no sexual misconstruing. Is that a word?
Yeah, intention.
Or intention of the hands-on assist. So let's shift into the intention behind hands-on assisting. And notice that we're using the word assist different than adjustment. We are, in some instances, adjusting, like moving their body, but for the most part, we're assisting in bringing awareness to the parts of the body and to their alignment. It's an assist. We're not doing anything for them. We're just bringing more physical empowering possibilities for them.
And we're helping to prevent injury. So if we see somebody is consistently in a pose where their knee, for example, is inward or outward, we get to put them in an alignment that is safer for their body and will prevent injury.
So as a student receiving hands-on assist, what could be wonderful about receiving an assist from a teacher is they're saying words, and I might be more of a physical, tangible learner. So when they say the words, press down to the base of the big toe and the center of the heels, and then I feel it in my body as their words are coming at me or to the room, I get to have deeper awareness and discoveries in my own practice. Any other things as a student when you're receiving a hands-on assist? What are the benefits?
I think allowing them to see what's possible. As I mentioned before, they may not be thinking of what they could do to deepen a pose or to take it a step further, because the whole time maybe their brain has been telling them, no, I can't do this, I can't do that. But when a teacher sees the possibility of, I think you can go a little bit deeper or further, then that brings in that awareness and makes their heart a little bit happier.
Yeah. And then often as a teacher, how many times I say a cue, I see what's happening in their body and it's just not landing. It's maybe they're thinking about something else, or maybe they think that they're already putting that alignment cue in their body. And then I get to give them a physical hands-on assist. It's like, oh no, she is speaking to me, or oh no, I'm going to come back into this moment because she's literally here with me right now. Yeah, cool. So let's talk about the 3 types of assists. So there's directional, there's deepening, and there's empowering. Directional is usually with the fingertips, like the flight attendant fingers. So if we stand up a second, directional could be, we take warrior 1, right foot forward. Directional might be using my fingertips, I'm gonna tap on her foot and tap to the front of the mat. And she's like, oh, okay, I will go there. Or directional might be, this directional and deepening, I use my fingertips. Did you see how she just went deeper? All I did was take my fingers on the back of her knee and pull her towards me. Or directional is even, take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Yeah, great, relax. So directional and deepening, so you saw the deepening where I used my fingers, or I could also use Barbie hands to take them deeper into a pose. Let's try, do downward facing dog. A deepening assist with a Barbie hand, flat palm, is heel a hand to sacrum. And I just gently push. I didn't do the work for her, I just gave her the indication. So Barbie hands, fingertips, always. And then an empowering proprioception assist is knowing where the body is in space. So again, that might be flight attendants, or it might be just who you stand up and take mountain pose with your ribs kind of splayed out, turn sideways. And if I just come, I don't even need to touch her ribs. I just say, pull the front ribs in towards center. I just, oh, the sun glare. I just went with my fingers. Didn't touch her, just looked at her ribs and then pulled my fingers together. And then she made the proprioception adjustments. Great. Types of touch, 3 types of touch. So we've got skin. We're just touching the skin a little bit, so turn sideways. I'm just gonna touch her shoulder blades, pull them back. I just went a little lobster claw. but just my fingertips were in that assist. There's bone using the Barbie hands. I can pull the shoulders up and pull the shoulders back. So I moved her bones. I didn't grab her with my fingertips. How's that feel?
Aggressive.
Yeah. So just up and back, just moving the bones with my Barbie hands. And then deepening, muscle movement. Take chair prayer twist to the left, facing that way. Getting into the muscle, I call this the trash compactor. So I'm pulling in, yeah. So I'm moving the muscle there, and you saw how she just went deeper because of that stability that I invited in. All right, relax. So 3 types of assist: directional, deepening, and empowering, with either fingertips, open palms, or gesturing. So, yeah, it's more flight attendant-y. And then 3 types of touch: moving the skin, moving the bones, and moving the muscles. Again, we're not trying to, I don't know if I said this already, we're not trying to fix. The energy of somebody standing in front of you saying, they're not even saying it, but like, that's wrong, let me make this better. Not so much empowering, but the energy of what would be possible if you pull the shoulder blades in towards the spine. Yeah, or what would be possible if you press the center of the heels down. Different than you're doing this wrong, or you could be doing this better, as the energy we're bringing to it.
Feels so much more empowering when it's brought in with that purpose, as opposed to, I'm gonna fix you.
And then also the energy of, if you feel uncomfortable and you feel weird, it might land with the student as uncomfortable and weird. So that's why hopefully you have someone with you right now, so that you can practice these hands-on assists on someone else and get feedback of, do I need to do that with more pressure, less pressure? What if you put your hand here instead of there? So we're about to shift into giving you hands-on assists that you can do in pretty much every pose, with some exceptions. And after we do the assist, then you'll pause the video, practice on each other, give each other empowering feedback, and then push play again. I'm gonna adjust the camera so it's not sun right there. How do we do that? I don't know, it just might be that way. Yeah, okay.
Just means our guides are here with us.
All right, will you stand up and take mountain pose? We're gonna start with the feet. I'm actually gonna shift this so you can just see the feet. Super important for teacher to keep safe alignment in your back. So when I'm down here at the feet, I'm not crunched over doing stuff, because my back is gonna hurt later. So as much as possible, if you need to get all the way down on your knees so that you can have a nice straight spine, do that. So first assist would be moving the bones. We want the feet parallel. So what would be possible if you align the heels behind the second and third toes? So it's kind of a bone moving and a directional at the same time. So do that again, shift, turn sideways this time. And stand normal, yeah, great. So her feet are turned out. What would be possible if you align your heels behind your second and third toes? Yeah, and even I just moved the one and then she moved the other. So that's a great assist. Proprioception, lift. So I'm just gonna go barely touch the toes, lift and spread the toes. And then one more before you practice. Press the center of the heels down, actually 2 more. And press the base of the big toe mounds down. So I had my hands like this and I gently squeezed in around the heels and pressed down. Notice how straight my back is. And then press the base of the big toes down. Just on the tips, will you turn your face? Then, so I'm just using my thumbs gently to press the base of the big toe mounds down. Always.
You can see it in my legs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you saw when she pressed down, you can see how my legs created more engagement.
Mm-hmm. So keeping a flat spine for you, the assister, and also minding where your head is in relation to the body. So I'm not going to be back here assisting. I'm off to the side. So she's got space. And then I'm pulling in with my thumbs and pressing down into the heels. Press the base of the big toes down. So try those, I think it was for assist. So move their heels and their toes to be in alignment. Press the heels down. You can invite a lift in the toes and press down to the base of the big toes. Try that on and then come back. All right, next, moving up the body. I'm gonna tilt this up just a little bit. Move into the shins and calves. So turn, face them. I'm gonna come behind and I'm gonna tell them to pull the outer shins in, so squeeze in and then turn sideways. We wanna, rather than locked out knees, so Jamie tends to have hypermobile knees, so lock your knees out. Yeah, put a slight bend in the knees. I'm just doing this with my fingers, slight bend in the knees. Pull the outer shins in, and one more. Boom, boom. Hug leg muscle to bone. Did you see how she just got strong? So turn towards the camera. So 3 assists to try on here. Pull the outer shins in. Slight bend in the knees. Hug leg muscle to bone. So I'm not going, right? Just with the heels of my hands, hug leg muscle to bone. So while you're doing these assists, say the words, because you're saying this actually to your entire class, right? You're speaking to everyone, but through your hands-on assist, through the one person into everyone. So try those ones on. So pull the outer shins in, slight bend in the knees, hug leg muscle to bone. And then give each other empowering feedback to help them know. Because remember, if you don't tell them and then they give somebody else a bad assist, that's on you. All right, pause the video, try them on, give each other feedback, and come on back. All right, so moving. Should we do all of those together?
Yeah, you can do that.
So the assists that we've done so far are align the heels behind the second and third toes. Say the words while you're doing it. Lift and spread the toes. Press the base of the big toe mounds down. Notice my flat back here. Press the center of the heels down. Pull the outer shins in. Slight bend in the knee. Hug leg muscle to bone. Great. Try that on with all of those. Give each other feedback. Did you have something to say?
I was gonna say, I wish they could see my quad right now because I really feel it.
When I do this one, then your quad engages, that's great. All right, try that on, give each other feedback, and then we'll move on. All right, moving up the body to the pelvis. Trash compactor, Barbie hands. To rotate the pelvis, lift the front of the pelvis up. So my fingers went from there to there, turn sideways. So often we see sway back in the body. I'm gonna notice my posture. I bend my knees so that I'm not gonna crunch my back and be here. We'll lift the front of the pelvis up towards the belly button. So I'm squeezing in pretty good and then rotating. And then I'm just gonna point to the belly. Pull the pit of the belly in towards the spine. Yeah, so trash compactor, pull in, rotate the pelvis, and then look at their belly button and say, pull the pit of the belly in towards the spine. So as you try these on, say the words as you're delivering the words through your empowering hands and assists. Pause the video and try that on. Okay, next is we'll move into the shoulders. Pull the shoulders up towards the ears, press the shoulder blades in towards the spine. Notice my hands, Barbie hands. So I'm not gripping her. Lift up, pull back. And then the front ribs in. Pull the front ribs in towards midline. And pull the jawline straight back. So this one is fingertips around the ears. How did that feel in your body?
That felt great.
Yeah. So fingers around. I have my thumbs on the occipital ridge on the back. I'm just pulling straight up. You can also say, press into my hand, lift the crown of the head up. Great, so review of those, relax. So you just had done the lift the front of the pelvis up towards the belly button. Pull the pit of the belly in towards the spine. Pull the shoulders up to the ears, press the shoulder blades in towards the spine. Draw the front ribs in towards center. And pull the jawline straight back. Breathe. You have to remember to breathe yourself. Anytime you tell your students to take a deep breath in, you take a deep breath in as you deliver the assist. One other shoulder assist you could do, turn towards the wall. It's just the lobster claw. Fingers pull in, fingers pull in. And then usually when you pull the shoulders back, the ribs pop out, the front ribs in towards the midline. Okay, pause the video, try those on. Okay, up next, all of these same assist-ish, but from downward facing dog. So take downward dog. It could be a directional assist of bring your feet back 3 inches. You lock out your knees. Often you'll see locked out knees and you just say, put a slight bend in the knees. And then pull the outer shins in. Yes. You could also assist the feet, press the base of the big toe mound down. Yeah, that worked. All right, so try those on. So lock the knees again, so you can invite a slight bend in the knees. So I'm using my directional fingers. Pull the outer shins in, I'm squeezing in, and press the base of the big toes down. So I'm just using my thumbs, gently pressing into the base of the big toes. So pause the video and try those on. And then we'll move into the hands is a great place to be in downward dog as well. I'm gonna take my hands flat, and usually we often see a doming of the base of the pointer finger. So press the heels of your hands gently. As you say, press the base of the pointer finger and thumbs into the mat. So I'm saying the words and I'm putting the hands on assist in. So we're not doing one thing with our words and another thing with our hands. We're doing the same thing. And then also, I often see locked out elbows in down dog. So put a slight bend in the elbows. And then you can pull the shoulder blades in towards the spine. Great. So try that on. Press the base of the pointer fingers and thumbs into the mat. I'm doing this assist. Put a slight bend into the elbows. And then lobster claw on the shoulders. Pull the shoulder blades in towards the spine. Pause the video and try those on. Other ones in downward dog would be, depending on, yeah, you don't necessarily want to come behind people, but you could if you know the person. Notice my posture, bent knees, shoulders back. I could do the trash compactor. Notice just even me just squeeze. I didn't move her. I just squeezed in, and that created more depth for her in the pose. Or there's the other one with one foot in front of the other. I feel stable. Both of my feet are grounded. Heel a hand to sacrum, and I push that way and slightly up into the tailbone. So you can try those two on. The trash compactor. Check in. Do you feel safe or comfortable? Notice my posture. I just pull the trash compactor in and tilt if that's necessary. And then the other one, ground both feet. Press the heels of the hand, heel of the hand in and up. Great. Release. Pause the video, try those on. Okay, take warrior one, right foot forward. So it's always great to go to the feet because it's the foundation of the pose. So you can check in, press the center of the heel into the mat. So I'm pinching in and pressing down into the heel. Did you see what happened? Go back to how you were. Yeah, so she was there and I pressed the center of the heel into the mat and she just lit up. And then usually in the front foot in warrior one, it's pressed into the base of the big toe. And sometimes it is nice. They might be looking straight ahead, but you bring the energy of a smile. And then you can add depth. Lunge 2 inches deeper into the front knee. Take your gaze up toward the ceiling. Yeah, so fun. It feels like wizardry when it's just the gestures. All right, take pause and try those on. Try those on. And now we'll take triangle pose. I'm gonna do left foot forward triangle pose. One of my favorite kinds of assists are giving people a prop. Bring your bottom hand down to the block. Yes. And check in with their feet. Always check in with their feet, but you could put a slight bend in the knee. Draw the front ribs in towards center. Notice I didn't touch her, I just brought in the gesture. Bring your hand up to my hand. Press your hand into my hand. So she's doing all of the work. I'm just creating a stable place for her. And what that did was draw her shoulder blades together. And then while I'm at it, I can say pull the pit of the belly in towards the spine. Yeah, so get curious, try on some basic hands-on assists, look at their body, where could you empower and create even more possibility in their pose. Try it on. Take bridge pose. Always, you can use always the check in with the feet, align the heels behind the second and third toes, press down through the base of the big toe. So I'm just using my thumbs, press down. And that just brought the action into the knees. And then another, heels of the hands on the thighs. Did you see what just happened? I just pressed down and her hips went up. Cool. And breathe. Come on down. Try those on. Align their feet. Press into the base of the big toes and then press on their thighs. Try it on. So if you have more time from here, play with your partner. Put them in a pose. See what's needed, how you can empower them. Then deliver a cue, whether it's an alignment cue or a deepening cue, and see what happens. Yeah.
One thing I do want to add on about touch when you're offering the assist, it's not a soft, gentle touch.
No.
That can feel a little creepy. You want to be very firm and confident. So even if you are doing flight attendant hands or using the palms of your hands, you're really pressing in, creating confidence in what you're doing and confidence in your student.
Mm-hmm. Yay, have fun. Just notice also if you're bringing in the energy of how can I fix this pose. Always come back to whether it's assisting or even teaching. Bring in the energy of what would be possible if you press down through the base of the heels. What would be possible if you pull the pit of the belly in towards the spine. Sometimes I'll even say those words out loud in my teaching to remind me consciously that that's what I want to do. Thanks for playing. Have a good day.
Thank you.
See you soon.